Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. So, I recently came across this brand while browsing Amazon and decided to do a quick walkthrough, the same way I usually audit brands behind the scenes. And everything I'm sharing here is based on publicly available information only. I do not have backend access or ad spend data or internal strategy context. So this is purely, an outside in perspective that other competitors or their customers might. That being said, after spending thousands of hours inside Seller Central, there are certain patterns that become very obvious when something is being underutilized. So let's start with the main SKU for wholesome provisions store. This is the main SKU. This has got the highest sales. So this product has got like three different variations. You know, pack of 7, pack of 21, pack of 35, and this has the highest amount of sales. And what I can see here is, this title compared to this title, compared to this title, they're actually the same. You're only changing, and this is like called pack of 5, while it is pack of, uh, you know, 31, right? A pack of 7's pack of 5. In here, you've mentioned 7 pack. In here, it's not even mentioned 7 pack. So I think this is a problem. And once again, you've got the same title. So what basically happens, when you've got the same title is you there's a missed SEO opportunity. You can actually, whenever these variations are sharing the exact same title and even like exact same bullet points, these are the bullet points. And then you've got exactly same bullet points in here as well. So they haven't, slightly tested different bullet points. And what basically happens is, you're essentially limiting how many keywords the catalog can index for. So even small variations in sort of like language or in use cases. So you will have different use cases for this product, right? And having that can actually make that child ASIN to pick up incremental search visibility. And right now that leverage is not being used. And the same applies to bullet points as well. The same applies to title and bullet points. And with over 1,200 reviews and 4.4 ratings, there's clearly going to be enough customer feedback to tailor those budgets slightly for different pack sizes or buy intent. But that insight, is not reflected in the content. Now, moving to images, the infographics are actually decent, 15-gram protein. But I would say, I would make changes to the font and I would make changes to the style as well in order to add more clarity, to the listing. This scale, when they're doing 20K in revenue, small uh, views can actually, impact their conversion. And these images are actually, your prime real estate, and you should do more work in communicating benefits clearly and quickly. Now, coming to the sales distribution across different variations, this one has got 300 plus sales. This one has got 50 plus sales, and this one Amazon is not recording any sales. So I'm assuming that they're sort of like using this as a loss leader, right? I would say that because they've got around 600 units moving in, I would say if they're using this as a loss leader, this is like a customer entry price point, they should use different strategies to push, the other SKUs as well. And it could be via different means. It could be via brand tailored promotions. It could be via, sponsored display retargeting. And there could be multiple cross sell strategies that can be implemented in order to ensure that your higher price point SKUs are selling as well, just in order to increase your, average order value. So yeah, one another thing that I noticed here is that sales, overall appear to have declined over the past 12 months, which make this breakdown even more important. And of course, the 1895 product clearly attracts the most buyers. It has got 300 plus sales, and of course, they can utilize that to increase the exposure of new to brand customers and then track their repeat purchase rates data as well. So when I scroll down, another thing that I start noticing is that competitors are actually actively targeting them, and this is the best selling SKU, right? So competitors are targeting them here with sponsored display. They are targeting them with, this is sponsored display. I moved down a bit. There's once again sponsored brand. I think they were targeting them from sponsored product as well. But right now, it's not showing. But when I move to the second best-selling SKU, yeah, so this is being targeted via sponsored products as well. So, you know, when you have got your best-selling or your second best-selling SKU, just ensure that you're maintaining product defensibility there. And this actually, can be a red flag. So if competitors are aggressively targeting your highest traffic ASIN and you're not essentially defending their real estate, even though you have got like different products in your catalog, you've got enough catalog size that you can defend your best-selling SKUs, and of course you can divert the traffic to your own SKUs. So if you're not doing that, you're effectively paying to send your customers to your competitors, because in order to land here, even if you're not running any PPC campaigns, which I'll dive down later on, you're still paying your competitors to go ahead and get my customers by just targeting me, because I'm bringing traffic on my listing page. So that is a problem, right? And going down a bit below, when I have a look at the A plus content, so number one thing which I notice is that I do not see a brand story here, which is once again it's sort of like a problem. And adding more A plus modules, this looks a bit pixelated as well. And it's basic A plus content. I would definitely suggest premium A plus content, especially when they've already, built a sizable brand with, reviews having being more than 1,000 as well. And they've got like multiple SKUs. Overall, their reviews are definitely more than 4,000 at least. So adding more A plus modules, what actually, it does it helps customers, for all of these competitors, it helps your competitors push further down and give the brand more control over the buying decision, because your competitor ads start appearing just from one scroll. So adding more and more A plus modules, it actually increases that friction. So another thing that I saw is even with this second best-selling SKU, they've got a similar A plus content issue. Even in here, and I'll show you what this listing is about as well. So this is like protein waffle square, right? I go down here, and the A plus, the title and bullet point remains there, and I see that maybe a different. All right, this is being targeted. It shows half of the packaging, and then it just finishes off. So no brand story, just two or three carousels. So that shows that, the whole catalog is not being treated, holistically. And each SKU is being left somewhat exposed rather than, structured to support one another. And when I look, when I try to study their PPC strategy, one another thing which I sort of like notice is there's only one keyword in here with a, sort of like core organic, right? But so at times actually helium data can be imperfect. But when I reverse ASIN using Cerebro, so I actually entered this ASIN here and I just selected sponsored type. I see that there are like zero paid ads over here, and this becomes more obvious that when that they're not targeting their product at all, or they're not targeting it aggressively, but you know there's no ad strategy behind their bestseller. And this becomes even more prominent when I search their brand keyword and I see their competitors actually, are trying to target them. And even if they've got like a decent search volume, it's 73. But customers, first of all, find all the other competitors. So only one listing for their own brand, and not sure how long Amazon's going to, not replace this with a sponsored product one, because all of these are sponsored ads. They're not running any sponsored ads, even on their own product, even while having such a huge catalog with huge amount of, reviews as well. So once again, you're leaving your own branded keyword to your competitors. So to summarize all of this, I'd say three things. This is not a weak brand. The product has got strong reviews. It has got clear demand. There's proven sort of like sales history as well. But the main gaps that I see are in three essential areas that I would say solve them. Most of them are like free solutions. You can implement them in just like 24 to 48 hours. So number one is catalog level SEO. So titles and bullets across variations, they need differentiation to capture more and more keyword coverage. Secondly, it's your product detail pages, real estate protection. More A plus content, carousels, and stronger self defense of the best selling. would reduce competitor leakage. And thirdly, it's your organic and PPC alignment. So the best-selling SKU should be actively supported with sponsored product campaigns to, protect branded search and build non-brand organic rank. Now, these are not massive changes, but they're the kind of structural improvements that can sort of like compound over time, especially for a brand that already has got demand. So, just summing it up, there are three things. Number one, utilize that you've got like two titles here. You've got eight different bullet points, add different keywords differentiation, just so you can have more and more captured search volume. Number second is to cover your product detail pages, real estate. First of all, if you already have a good amount of reviews, your ratings are good, ensure that in here you are converting customers. You're not leaving those customers to scroll down. And then of course, like, do brand defensive targeting as well. Do not leave this prime real estate for other competitors to come in and take away your sales. Do not leave this for your competitors, right? It's sort of like a small red flag for your brand. And of course, in here you can add more carousels as well, just to create more friction. I'm pretty sure, with them having a good amount of ratings and reviews, they already have enough carousels that they can add extra here. They do not need to be doing a new photo shoot just for this. And thirdly, and very importantly, is of course, like, your paid ads, improve them a bit. If it's not performing very well, you can be extremely strategic. You do not need to be spending on all protein or chocolate related keywords or coffee keywords. You can be extremely strategic. You already have so much ratings that you'll have enough data where your relative conversion share rate is better than your competitors. Just use those keywords. Do not try to cast a whole wide net, especially in the start if you do not plan to, do any ad spend. So yeah, I think that was pretty much about it. I think it's a good brand. I really, I like chocolates. I like sweets. I love desserts. My wife loved desserts as well. So we're always, on the lookout for better and better sort of like dessert brands. And, having a health element combined to your desserts is actually a very good, USP. Making people eat, but since, more and more people are becoming conscious, making people eat, but they should eat it healthy. So they don't have that guilt trap after eating lots of dessert. So, this is actually an extremely good USP. It's sold well. But yeah, I think this is how I would do differently if I was, sort of like managing their marketing. If the brand wants to, I'm more than happy to send them a PDF breaking down, exactly what actionable steps should be taken. Thank you.